so that a nurse who can take a reading for diabetes can see what the sugar level is, the insulin level is in somebody's blood. It gets piped back immediately to the doctor, the clinic, in this case, IMSS 27, and they have 26,000 patients, and it becomes all much more manageable. What you're going to see in the future is that it's not so much about how much speed you have on the network, whether it's 3G or 4G, or whether it's going at 250K, it's about the application. And you can see that with an iPad. I mean, everybody uses an iPad differently. I was the other day on a plane, and you see a 2-year-old finger painting on an iPad. And so the issue is, how do you make this technology work in a seamless way for people that it, one, in this country particularly, helps you with safety, 2, helps you with health, and 3, allows people to make more money and better their standard of living. And so what you're going to see is a movement away from just from the phones to what are devices, things that you won't even know are there, things that Paul's alluded to, well, they'll know information about you. And so what's great about the fishing net example in Brazil, or the Dulce Wireless project that we're doing here, is that we're actually helping people. And it's stuff that is going to become the standard. And so the issue is, how do you use the technology? What are the applications? So the great thing is for instance, Paul just gave a great presentation, and he's probably going to go across the world, and it would be a great thing, or I do stuff with my people, and I train people, and I give classes to people, and all of a sudden, what a Dulce patient is getting is, they're getting the same video given once, the same speech about why you don't want to eat that kind of food, why you want to stay away from Big Macs with cheese, why you want to stay away from sugar, how these things can affect your body. And they're getting that, everybody's getting the exact same message from a highly specialized person. Today, the way that healthcare works is, you go to a centralized location called a hospital when ya te va muy mal. Nadie le gusta ir al hospital. Entonces, todo esto es para prevenir el hecho y para no ir al hospital. Y para prevenir lo que se necesita es seguimiento, disciplina, seguimiento y información. Información que el médico al cual puede reaccionar y decir, oye, le estoy marcando porque estoy viendo que su nivel de insulina está muy alto, por favor, véngase enseguida, ahorita. Pero eso es muy diferente a que se tarda 2 o 3 meses y dice, ya me siento muy mal, y ya llega al hospital, que es un lugar centralizado donde hay muchos doctores, donde hay mucho cuidado y mucha infraestructura, y vamos a ir a un modelo donde estamos descentralizados, donde the healthcare is distributed because the wireless technology allows us to do that. So if I look forward in the future, the issue for us is that how do we make this mobile technology useful for people? I think that in terms of safety and security, we at USSL are doing things that are similar to what we're doing, that uses the same platform that we're using with Dulce Wireless. In Chiapas, we have something called El Taxista Vigilante, where you have hundreds of taxi cab drivers who are able to report on a crime immediately, geolocated, and you see a knock from the police, and they're able to react to it very quickly. So I want to thank Paul for inviting me to talk about the project. I think the project is very cutting edge. It's the sort of thing that won't only help the patients, but will help Mexico and the United States and any country that's developing deal with increasing healthcare costs, because the only way you can do that is by becoming more efficient, not just in the way that you send your email, but more efficient at preventing disease or catching it when it's early with information and getting people information that they need. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Adrian. That's it's a great partnership, and it's been a partnership that we've had for quite some time. And it really is an indication of the fact that wireless is changing. It's changing from a thing where you just communicate from point to point, person to person, to something that really literally will transform the world that we live in by connecting up everything around us, connecting sensors in the world around us, lights, projectors, microphones, people to people. You'll share your social networking information with each other. The vision that we have been working on for the phone over the last, say, 10 years is that the phone was going to be the center where all of these kinds of capabilities were going to come in. The entertainment capability, computing, productivity, in addition to communication. So we put in cameras and graphics and all sorts of sensors in there to figure out how the phone is oriented, and GPS, all sorts of stuff went into the phone in the service of that vision. And we're seeing that today. And we see with some of these projects I talked about how that will impact the world. But I think there's something interesting that's going to happen into the future. So we all know that there are clouds of digital information that we create about ourselves or that are associated with locations that we may go to. And the phone, because wireless is going to be embedded in all these things around us, the phone is going to be the ability to interface between that digital information and the real world, and services that are available like microphones and speakers in the world and that phone. And so we have this technology now called augmented reality, which allows you to actually put digital objects into the world. So as you look through the camera on your phone, you'll actually see objects embedded into the real world. And those may be things that will give a user interface to something that didn't have a user interface. A great example is a digital photo frame on the wall where I look at it with my phone and it glows on the wall. And that lets me know that I can drag and drop a picture from my phone right onto that photo frame. And so I'm looking at it on my phone, I drag and drop, and then in the real world, the picture shows up on that picture frame. Kind of cool. Or you have a 3D object. So we all know about 3D TVs, but that's really just a flat thing that you're looking at. This technology allows real 3D objects to be in the real world, so I can look around them and I can examine them, and it works great for games, works great for data that I might want to look at, all sorts of interesting information that I can have access to in 3D. But maybe one, given that I'm here in Tijuana speaking in English, maybe one that's most interesting will be that we'll actually be able to go out in the real world with the phone, with this display that I talked about earlier that allow you to see it in full sunlight. And I'll look at the signs on the side of a wall, a sign for a restaurant or something, and it'll be translated into English for me. And I'll be able to tap on it and get the menu or find out what my friends had to say about it. So now we can see this notion that the phone acting as this interface between the real world and the digital world and bringing these two things together, that I think is going to be the next thing that has a huge impact on the world. So we're excited about what we've been able to do with wireless to date, but I'm telling you, the best is yet to come. And I look forward to partnering with people here in Mexico and partners around the world to make that vision a reality. So thanks very much, everybody, for being here.